This is just a quick video analysis of some Panasonic VCRs I've run into. Let's take a look here. This one appears to be the newest, and judging by the fact that it doesn't advertise any features and just says OmniVision, it's probably a two-head mono unit. Oh, here's the model, PV8200. Then moving up, we have one with more features: 4-head hi-fi stereo, commercial advance, VCR plus, movie advance. It's a home theater model. Ooh, and all of these have the shiny Made in Japan sticker that Panasonic was putting on their models in the 90s. And that's because a lot of other brands, even if they were a Japanese brand, their lower end models were starting to be made in China. There was Samsung, LG, Gold Star, Daewoo, a bunch of Korean brands. And the reputation that products made in Japan had was still very strong. So tack this on here to be like, look, ours is better. What model is this? I think these are old enough that they don't actually put the model on the front. That was something they started doing later. Like, I'd say, I'm gonna guess this is probably like 97, 98 era, late 90s. This is probably 96 and 95. Don't know how close I am for that. Anyway, front AV inputs. Front AV inputs on this one. This is another hi-fi stereo. 4-head, obviously. Yeah, let's flip them around and look at the back. I forgot Panasonic puts the dates on the back. So I was kind of close on this one, late 90s. This one I said 95, 96. Yeah, pretty close. But I was way off on this guy. This is from 2000. Damn. Oh well. So anyway, this one we said was the PV8200, 2 being a 4-head model, and I think 8 being the model year 1998. This one was a PV46. Okay, maybe I'm wrong on these. I always thought that they had like a model year based part number. But now I'm looking at this 46. Oh no, you know what? Up until a point they put the first digit was the video heads. So this is a PV46 and PV4630. Yeah, they must have stopped doing that at some point. This 8200 makes absolutely no sense. Okay, I'm reading too much into these part numbers. I know in the 80s they did, and I love it when manufacturers have like coded part numbers that you can start to learn and just look at a model number and say, oh yeah, this is from such and such year. Both of these were serviced in 2005. Man, getting your VCR fixed in 2005, that's commitment. These two came from the same place, this one somewhere else. So, and yeah, I mean, it's the back of a VCR. I don't know what you're expecting. This one's new enough that it looks like the channel 3/4 selector for the modulator will probably be in the menu. Old enough that it's here and down there. All right, let's start looking at these. Let's start with the lowest end model. I got too much plugged in here. Power. Oh, there's a tape in there. Oh, what? Oh, they're writing on the reels there. I don't think I've ever seen Japanese writing on reels like this. And those little markers. I've seen this on like 1 or 2 older tapes, but this is a newer tape. This feels new, modern. Okay, well, I guess we can use this as the test tape. All right, I'm taking the top cover off to give us some entertainment. Typical Panasonic fashion, there's actually some screws that come up from the bottom that hold the top cover on. So there's 2 on the back and then 2 kind of from the bottom. Well, that's kind of unfair. This tape's just garbage. Okay, let's try that again with the tape manually moved past the chewed up part. Okay, do fast forward. Tape is moving. It's going to go into fast mode now. That's working. Brakes work. Do a rewind. Okay, let's try hitting eject. That's fine. I mean, the tape was chewed, but I mean, who knows what caused that? Is there even anything on this tape? I didn't actually think to look and play. Yeah, it looks like some sort of special recorded off newer TV. There's a hum going on here. Is that the motor or the tape? Let's try rewind. Oh, that's just gross. What's with that? It's like the approach. It's like it's not. Well, I mean, it's not chewing the tape, it just looks like ass. So is this thing a problem or not? I'm kind of tempted to just clean the heads and move on with it. Appears to work just fine. So that would be an SLP recorded tape, because if it was recorded on this one. Let's try an SP tape. So it should automatically play, which it does. Pause. Oh, there is no pause. Okay, I'll try. Scan. Yeah, looks like a typical 2-head. Huh. There is nothing wrong with this thing. Could be that the tape just sat in there for so long when this thing was stored. Alright, well, clean the, well, I'll clean the heads, but the transport in this looks just spotless. I don't think anything really needs to be cleaned in here. Power supply has no visual issues. It looks pretty low use. Alright, clean heads, move on. That last one was easy enough. On to the PV4625, did I say it was? What is this? 4652. Okay, let's see what it does. This is the oldest one from 1996. Ooh. Making some unhappy sounds. Okay, let's pop in the sacrificial tape from the other machine. What the heck? Is it timing out? Okay. That's weird. So if I pop this tape in like that. Oh. What? Is the eject broken? I'll have to look at this closely. Maybe something's busted on here. Someone tried to force a tape in or something. Got a blue screen. Oh, crap. I grabbed my good test tape. Do a rewind. I do not have pause on here. So it's stopped, that's good. So what happens when I hit eject? Yeah, the loading part's all loose and messed up. Could just be a timing issue. Pop the front cover off of here. Yeah, I'm wondering if it's a timing issue because this is really loose. There should be some loaded spring tension here to push the tape out. And I think it's probably this little spring here, but it's not doing much. There's a little chipped bit. Let's get that going. See there? That's broken. That's chipped. I don't think that would cause a problem, but it might be related to whatever violent act did this. So let's try a tape again. Plugged in. Yeah, see it's, and then it doesn't come out all the way. More screws than I expected. There's 2 holding it here, 2 holding it in a horizontal orientation to the front of the chassis, and then 4 in the 4 corners, bolting it down, so a total of 8. So I think for looking at this, this gear here is what's important, this toothed long bit, and that lines up with this. And that's how the eject mechanism works. And it looks like it's driven by this motor. You can see another belt here for the idler, probably comes right off the capstan motor. Just make sure this is in the fully unloaded position. I'll pretend there's a tape. And it spits it out because it errors out there. All right, so that is the unloaded position for that gear. Looks like there's a timing mark right there. Yeah, the outer gear tooth lines up with this. So just looking at how this goes, this is the little piece that's supposed to flip the tape flap open. And trying to just push this through its motions, one-handed here, very difficult. Looks like it's binding up against that now. Yeah, this should be back here, should it? Does that slide there? What? Well, the good news is it's a timing issue. The bad news is it's probably not repairable. What I believe the problem is, and let's see if I can get the camera to show it. See those teeth along the bottom on this black piece? They're supposed to stick out well past there. There's only 5 teeth. And I believe that, things keep clumping behind there. I believe that the last little bit that would have stuck out the end there is snapped off, probably from someone forcing a tape in or out. So what happens is this gear was pushed forward, which brought out the timing of this little sliding flap that opens the tape flap here, this little arm. And we're just grabbing onto the last bit of teeth here at the beginning of the travel cycle. This should be about a ½ inch out. This whole arm here, this black plastic arm, is about ½ inch off because of these missing teeth. So yeah, I guess it's a parts model, because I mean, even if I found that broken piece, gluing it on there would be so precarious it would just break again. I put it back in to sort of demonstrate. This arm here should actually be up and back, and it gets hooked by the plastic arm and dragged up. And what it's doing right now is it's sitting in front of this sensor, tripping the VCR, thinking that tape's going in. So it's trying to load and then faulting out and trying back, because this whole plastic arm should be further rearward. But because it only has half the teeth, it should on the lower part here, it catches this gear way late in the timing. So now whenever I turn it on, it tries to take the tape in. Ugh. And that gear looks real, that little arm with the teeth on it. It's super flimsy, cheap, thin plastic. So all it took was someone to try and force the tape in or force the tape out, or maybe it just broke because it's old plastic. I mean, it says it was serviced in 2005. Now, I presume it was fixed in 2005. Why would you put a repair sticker on something that was unrepairable and give it back to the owner? So that means that this probably broke sometime in, let's say, the late 2000s. So that's 10-year-old plastic. I mean, you think 10-year-old plastic would be fine, but I don't know. Cheap crap parts unit. On to the next one. All right. So far, one works. One is irreparable without finding a very unique part. Let's see what this last one does. This is the newest model. Power's on. It's a good sign. Let me hook up the AV cables. It's got a blue screen. That's good. One bad sign is that the screws are missing from the top, but that might have been me because the screws on the last one I looked at were loose, and I think it's just, I usually inspect this stuff before bringing it inside, so it might be nothing. But let's try the crappy tape first. Oh, it sounds like a modern cheap VCR. Ooh, I hear crunching. Will this open up? No. No, I mean, it looks okay. Oh, wait, hold on. What? What? That's why it's not. Wait, what? Okay. Be observant. I was not expecting that. Oh, it looks like the little clip that holds it on there is just missing. That came out nice and easy. 4 screws. Well, I guess 5 because there's one holding this little ground plate over one of them. And that's it. It lifts right off the board. We've got fully race head, video head, the rotary encoder remote switch is on the board. Then this is for all the motors. Ooh, not looking. This is for all the motors, and that's it. So let's look at the back side here. Oh, this isn't even a clip. It's just plastic holding it in there. Okay, that might just be jammed up in there. Let me see if I can move that out. Bring this. Yeah, I think I can just slide this over. This was suspiciously easy. And there's spring tension on this, same as on this side. It's about the same. And that's really all that holds it on onto the guide. Is that all this needed? Well, one thing that this could use is a lubrication. Jerky motions, and there is nothing on these rails here. Just plastic on metal, plastic on plastic. But I mean, that said, it does seem to be working. Still not happy here. What if I hit rewind? Will it? No, you know what? Let's try not to chew up this tape. Let's chew up the other tape. I suspect this pinch roller is probably past its prime. So now that it's actually touching the ace head, or I guess ace head's a beta term, but now that it's touching the ace head, it should actually play this tape. Yeah, all right. Lubricated the tape guide paths and the loading path as much as I could kind of get in there. I still have to clean off the excess that's kind of pushed out from the cartridge sliding along there. Cleaned the video heads, kind of dirty, but fine. Rest of the tape path was decent. There's a lot of flex in here, so clearly some tapes were used that were old and disintegrating. So that's a pretty common sight. One thing I've noticed here is that this doesn't have an automatic head cleaner, but it's got the clip where there would be one. Right there. So, I bet you when this was serviced in 05, whoever was working on it probably removed the head cleaner. The head cleaner probably got gummed up. Man, I still don't like that. It's just so sudden and violent. Otherwise, it's doing its thing just fine. Nice SP quality. We'll try that EP tape that was in the other machine. And where's play? That was the end of the tape, huh? That was the end of the tape. Okay, here's an opportunity. Let's try recording something on this. Okay, let's go and hit record. Do you specify record time? It's recording in SLP. I do not have the remote for this, so I'm not going to be able to set the recording speed, nor can I find other channels above 13, because this is set to cable TV, because they would have had cable. And I don't have any Panasonic remotes that are modern enough to have the menu button. All right, let's see what we get here.
Where do you think I learned to do this?
It looks perfectly cromulent. This recording works just fine. What's that? Is that?
Sarah, there's no reason Sarah needs to do this thing all together.
Sam,
Did it put this at the beginning of the recording? Was that like a feature that it did? Let's do rewind. The rewind looks bad with that. I don't know what's going on. Why it drops down. I think that other one did it too. I think it's just cheap era. Let's try this again. Hit play. Because it was recorded off channel 2. Actually, let's hit stop. Let's move the channel up to something else, and then I'm going to hit play. And when that recording starts, it says a thing here.
Where do you think I learned to do this?
But it said at the very beginning. I'm going to let the recording start. I'm wondering if it records some information in the index. Because why did that show up in the corner there? Yeah! What? Is this a feature? Is this a feature that this did? Would this tell me what was recorded on what channel and what date? Because that's... What? Yeah, this is really cool. This VCR writes program data. See example below about the first 10 seconds of every recording. The information is then displayed the first 10 seconds of playback. To change the data, see changing timestamp data on page 35. So if you had the menu, you could go in and you could set this up and it shows that information. So if there was information, oh, that's right, because even NTSC channels, I remember they used to show information on, and newer TVs could show that. I remember, oh God, I forgot that they even encoded that information. So in the late 90s, early 2000s, it would tell you what you recorded. And it's not hard-coded on the tape. It shows up in the VCR's on-screen display. Let's go to page 35. So, timestamp edit. What? Changing timestamp data. What? You may change the date, time, channel, category, and notes. So I can go in and write the new data. Oh, I just learned something. I had no idea this feature existed. I gotta say, it's Panasonic was somehow still innovating with VHS this late, because they came up with this, they came up with VP speed later. I'm impressed. All right, this looks like another good one. It's modern, not really my style, cheap plasticky feel, but doesn't seem to be too well worn inside. I did clean this again and put some rubber renew. This just pops off real easy. There's a little plastic stopper that holds it in place. Ran some rubber renew on this just to make sure it's good. No tape chewing. I think it's good to go. 2 out of 3. Let's do a bonus. This last Panasonic, very, very basic. This looks like probably an early 90s model. Very basic function on the front. No extra buttons or controls, so it's all menu through the remote. And 4 lights on the front. Let's see how this one does. All right. Now, should I just throw a tape in here and see what happens? Okay, how do I get out of this? Stop? Oh no, that's eject. Ah. Well, eject works. Let's try fast forward. I think it's working. Rewind. I'm leaving you guys in suspense by leaving the top cover on. Play. Let's turn the sound up. What the heck? Well, there's a picture problem for sure. So what the heck is on this tape? So this is rewind scan. So it's like a rolling picture issue. Now, given the age of this and the era of this machine, is this my recording?
The shoes gone, just scratched off.
Yeah, this is that Elvis Presley recording we saw in the other ones.
Read it on this.
Let's open this up. Oh, wait, what? Oh, look at that. Is that just like a... It almost looks like a weak video head or something? Is there a tracking control on here? Might be remote only for tracking on this one. Yeah, let's try the pre-recorded tape. Could be capacitors, because of this era Panasonic. Look at how much smoother the mechanism is on this than that other. Oh yeah. That's horrible. You know what? Where's pause? Do I have pause on here? I do. Let's hook up a CRT. Well, now I've got nothing at all on the screen. And my crappy little CRT. I wanted this here to see if maybe one of the fields was bad on the... But I got nothing. Nope, just faulted it out. Let's just try cleaning the heads first. Oh, vertical collapse. Actually, what? I'm sorry, what? It's not working great, and it seems to almost be acting like macrovision. It's got a very dim picture with very bled out chroma. Okay, does channel affect the tracking? No. So I have 0 tracking control on here without the remote. ×2. Why would you put ×2 on a 2-head model? So what you're seeing, so this is what I'm seeing. One of the video heads is just complete garbage, and one of them is good. So this is only showing the good one. If I hit pause, yeah, it's flashing between good and not good. But that could very well just be the 2-head on this. I'm not seeing it flash between good and bad, so I don't think one of the heads is damaged. It could just be that the tape guides are off, or that it was just so dirty and clogged that it just cleaned itself, or that it is capacitors and the capacitors have now warmed up. I'm just gonna twiddle the tape guides a little bit. Actually, no, first I'm gonna clean the heads. Well, it was filthy, and it seems a little better now, but I'm still hearing chunks of dirt fly off the head, and then, oh, yeah, it just clogs up. So this could just be a really dirty machine. There we go, we just clogged. And now one of them's clean, and now both of them cleaned. So this thing's just filthy, but it's like, it's flinging dirt from inside the head drum. And the only solution I can think of is just to leave it playing so that it flings out all the crud onto my test tape. But it is improving. Now the question is this a capacitor that is now warmed up and working? And the only way to prove that is to sit this, let it cool down for a while, and try again. But it's working now. Fast forward. I mean, it's 2-head fast forward. It's not going to be great, but it's working. Pause. Yeah. Good old 2-head pause. Okay, let's try that EP tape. It would be nice if there's LEDs showing what was going on the front here. This was the era of cost cutting. Yeah, now it's playing just fine. Looks fine. Actually performs better than the newer ones. Let's see if we can find that recording I made. And then, is this the end of the program? Yeah, here we go. Oh, and it's got automatic tracking.
There's still time.
I want a rewrite with no nudity.
All right.
Perfectly fine. Perfectly fine little 2-head machine. I'm surprised that that's all that was wrong with this. I was honestly expecting to have to recap the whole power supply in this thing. Okay. I think we're good on this one. I'm going to let it sit and cool down for a while. And then I'm going to plug it back in and see if it jumps right back up or if it starts to go all scrambly while it's cold. All right, it's been 3 hours, 3.5, 4, I don't know. Patio drinking will make you lose track of time. Let's see what it does.
Here, Ned, we won.
Yep. Now all we gotta do is turn that woman into a
there it
fella and
goes.
that kiss into a game of Scrabble.
You're so sweet.
That looks perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. So to me, that means that this just had really, really dirty clogged heads. And it's ready to go. Awesome. Although it's a pretty basic, boring model. Like, there's nothing too special about that. I think I had said this was early 90s. This is a 1992 model. The PV2201K. And here they are. 4 Panasonic VCRs. The bonus VCR. And, yeah. This one was just fine, didn't need anything. This one unfortunately has a broken piece of plastic inside that's probably unobtainium. Kind of too big and complicated to try 3D printing. Not really sure it's worth it. This one worked just fine. It just needed a bit of a cleaning, lubrication, and one of the tape guides had snapped off. And this one appears to have just been really dirty. So yeah, not much to do to these machines. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye.